foul first on Marcus Camby.
Don't worry about lifting the pivot foot when you start.
Now it's under 5 to play in quarter number 3.
It's going to be interesting to see how Nate McMillan substitutes in this ballgame.
There's a travel.
Well, it's almost the same as the last time. He just picked up the foot before he started. And when you have athletic ability like Amar'e Stoudemire, and you're letting him lift it up, you're in trouble. He'll go by you in a heartbeat.
They go back to Aldridge. Now they'll wait to double. Now the double comes and the ball on the floor. There's somebody open. It's Andre Miller for a long 2. Webster again, working hard. The hardest working Blazer on the floor. Look at Alvin Gentry all over Bill Kennedy. Poor Bill's getting from both sides tonight. Nash. Richardson on a tee.
Well, I'll tell you, he's closing his eyes 10 for 15 and just red hot. Don't get near it.
21 for 31 if you go back in the last 2 games for Richardson. Man. Rudy open again for 3. Doesn't look at it. They pass it up for a 2. Fernandez 0 for 3 in this ball game. Has not scored. Channing Frye a long 3. Channing has not had a particularly strong series here against his former team.
Well, they know him so well. They know you've got to make him dribble the ball. If he catches and has his feet squared up under him, he's going to make the shot. The Blazers are getting out on him. Most teams, to stop Amar'e Stoudemire on the pick and roll with Nash, leave Channing Frye open. That's why he made over 273s this year. That's 4th in the NBA.
Shooting foul. Richardson fouls Webster. Well, I guess the good news is Phoenix only has 10 points here in the quarter. Yeah. Richardson has all 10, by the way, and then gets the foul there on Webster.
And when they can do that and still hang in the game with one guy, Richardson just seems to be in that groove. We remember back when he was younger and played with the Warriors. He'd get in
Alvin
that
Gentry
groove.
has talked the officials into reviewing this. I think they're just looking to see whether it's a 2 or a 3.
A 2 or a 3.
And they're saying, at least Joe DeRosa is saying, our initial call on the floor is a 3. And now we'll check out and see if it's going to be a 2 or a 3. Earlier tonight, Chicago upset Cleveland to get their first win in that series. It's going to be a 3.
Tell Gentry to sit down. I mean, at least complain about something that's...
Well, he's got to complain about something. He hasn't had much to complain about so far tonight.
Well, in his 7 years as head coach, 2 were above 500, and he coached with Detroit, the Clips, and Phoenix. So he is enjoying this year.
Absolutely, and he should. He's done a great job with this team. Suns had that quick start, as we mentioned. We mentioned their 14-2 finish, but they started the season 14-3.
Yeah.
And then they flattened off, and in fact, at one point were 26-21 on the season, but then got it back together and went 28-7 the rest of the way.
Now, the way they play with that in mind, how they go up and down, it's the thing about, they are a team that relies a lot on outside shooting. If you can close the paint up on Amar'e, if they start missing, you can run on them and you can score, because they're 3rd worst team in the NBA in giving up fast break points. So you can hit threes on them, but you've got to make some foul shots. You can't miss 2 out of 3 in that situation.
Martell avoids the hat trick by hitting the final look. 3.5 left here in quarter number 3. Stoudemire fouled by Bayless. And that'll be just the 3rd team foul on Portland here in the quarter.
Saying he's not shooting. I don't know about that.
He was into the basket. All right. on Bayless. Alvin Gentry was upset wanting free throws there, and Amar'e Stoudemire still as well. But Andre he looked to be well into the backboard. He might have still got a shot off.
Oh, it's pretty close. Pretty close.
Nash gets a high pick from Stoudemire. Blazers double. Can't be ripped it away. Stoudemire gets it back and was on the sideline, so it's a turnover Phoenix. And that is their 11th.
Well, it's a combination of the Blazers getting a little more aggressive and this Phoenix team getting a little sloppy.
And 7 turnovers in the quarter for the Suns.
Yeah. So if you're the Blazers, you got to be able to, keep the crowd in, score right here, make a stop.
Well, are you obviously building here with a chance, but are you trying to reestablish and rebuild some of your confidence for Game 4?
Absolutely. Game 4 is in and they're still double teaming LaMarcus, and LaMarcus still is getting no help for an outlet pass. People are hiding from him.
7 to shoot for the Blazers when we come back.
Specifically, he came over, he was very excited that the guys had gotten some stops. He's saying, keep your head in this game, we're fighting back into it. The bench is fired up right now. They're really trying to stay focused on this game. They're not thinking about Saturday.
Richardson fouled on his way to the lane, ran into Joe DeRosa, and Joe appears to be all right. So does everybody else down there. Right at the feet of owner Paul Allen, who's sitting in his baseline seat. The free throw's coming for Richardson. And here's the Blazer bench.
You don't want to come out of a timeout and not get a shot off. Get a kind of a throw, and then they come down and once again attack the rim and get to the foul line for 2 shots. So it wasn't Nate would say, a great timeout for us as I adjust my speaker.
It's always a good time to do that while you're talking.
Yeah. You know how they do testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, normally you do that before the broadcast begins. But that's okay. It's been that kind of a night.
That's right.
Richardson makes a pair. 31 for Jason Richardson tonight.
Oh.
He was the key in Game 2.
And the main guys in this game, if you remember, it was Bayless in Game 1, and it never has been Roy or L.A. or the Blazer leading scorers. When the Blazers won, it was Nicholas had a great game with 18. Bayless had 18.
Yeah. Aldridge turns on Stoudemire and hits. Well, one thing to build on if you're Portland, it's LaMarcus Aldridge here, as he's getting a little chippy with Amar'e Stoudemire that last possession down. They've done a little talking, a little bumping, and that's okay. Portland likes to see that. Fry to Jared Dudley. Back to Fry for the open 3, and Channing still off the mark in these playoffs from behind the three-point line. But he's thrilled to be back in Portland, the city he loves so much. And I'm not being sarcastic. He does.
Yeah, he does. He'll be back this summer.
Webster, corner to Bayless. Jared between the legs of Miller, out of bounds. Shot clock was down to 6. Blazers had a couple open looks on that possession.
Yeah, and if you're Bayless, you have to realize the clock is at 6. You throw it to the corner, that'll be about 3, and they're hoisting a shot that you don't want. So Bayless has to attack the rim and try to get fouled in that situation.
Stoudemire wide open fade, can't hit it.
Well, this, as you said, MB, it shows the Blazers.
Aldridge again. This one off the mark. Rebound Stoudemire.
That they can play with this team on an even. Right now, they're ahead in this quarter, 16-10.
Phoenix has 12 points in the quarter.
Okay,
15.
Yeah. And I have a feeling that the Blazers in Game 4 will pay a lot more attention to a guy named Jason Richardson.
Game 1, he had 14 points is all. Bayless at the rim. Camby tries to tip it in and does. He and Aldridge both there. I'm sure they'll get into him.